feels like summer. And it feels like summer.
Hola everyone, JB Thrills here, back with another video. And today we're talking about Six Flags Over Texas' new attraction. And no, it's not Pirates Spelunker Cave. It's the ride that's been taking 2 years to get built, Aquaman Powerwave. This year it will in fact be opening, but luckily we're seeing more progress. So in today's video I'll be talking about all the updates on the attraction and what we know, as well as a possible prediction for the opening day of this new ride. Before I get into today's video though, I would like to say if you like my content and videos, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to know when new videos arrive on my channel. Because this summer I'll be uploading a lot more frequently, and we'll get to see a lot of summer themed content, which you don't want to miss. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel for all those thrill seekers. On my channel we cover any thrill, from coaster to flat ride, no matter where it's located. So if you're a thrill seeker that loves thrill rides, you should definitely stick around. Anyways, let's get into today's video. So it's been a while since we've done an Aquaman Powerwave construction update. The last update being in 2021 because this coaster has recently barely got anything done to it from the past 2 years. But now in 2022, all the updates are coming, and this coaster looks like it will open in 2022. So let's talk about the most obvious update, which is the addition of the turntable. Last year when they announced they were actually going to add a turntable, I was super excited, because now we finally get to have the capacity needed for this coaster, because obviously one train will be a nightmare. So last we saw, we just had a gap between the two tracks where the turntable would be, but finally you can actually see it. The turntable is now in place, and obviously they gotta do a little bit more work and do the mechanics side of it, but if we already see some flooring and a railing, which is the same railing as seen from the Pulsar coaster, we can tell how much is missing. We just need the center railing and the rest of the platform, and the turntable might actually be all finished. This is very exciting, and it's showing that we're progressing finally with Aquaman Powerwave. Because once they connect the track with the turntable and the whole layout is complete, now they just gotta do some landscaping and install the coaster trains. But while the turntable is very important, there's other parts of the attractions that's also very important. For example, the actual pool that will cause the splash, which has also gotten lots of updates. They finally put the wall up around it, which shows where the water limit will reach, and we can actually see some of the system that causes the splash. In a traditional mock power splash, there's a little system that activates the main splash at the end, which looks like as seen in this video. And if you pay attention to the catch pull of Aquaman, you can see that system starting to get built, at least on one side. The other side still needs some work. But like I said, we're getting there. Now my main question about the splash is how big will it actually be? Because as seen in videos of Pulsar, the splash is very wide. And judging by where it's located with this Aquaman ride, I'm curious if the splash will reach the area where you walk by Pandemonium and even hit some of the queue of Pandemonium. There's also the train that goes right next to it. Will it get splashed as well? Honestly, that'd be pretty cool, because it'd be something fun to have on the train. But I don't know if it will break the train or affect it in any way. It also appears we won't have a specific deck where you can stand and get splashed, most likely because of budget issues, but also probably because of how big the splash will actually be. They might not even need a deck, you'll just have to stand right next to it and then boom, and get splashed. But again, that's unknown. But I still hope for an area that you purposely get to stand in if you want to get splashed, because it is a cool feature of any water attraction, especially one like Aquaman. Now speaking of the exits and entrance of the attraction, it looks like we will have a new layout of how to enter and exit. I say this because in the original idea for Aquaman, when they only had one train, the exit would just be like right across, as in you would get in, ride the attraction, then exit from the right. But now with a turntable, obviously that's not going to work. You're going to enter and exit through the same path. So I'm thinking that the original plan for the queue had to be scrapped entirely, which is why when Ron announced the addition of the turntable, he said that we would get a lot of theming, which would be super immersive, which is very similar to Pulsar, which surprisingly has some very immersive theming in the queue. So it makes me think that Aquaman Powerwave will almost be an exact clone of Pulsar, with the same little show scene before you get into the station. Obviously not themed to whatever Pulsar is themed to, but something very Aquaman-like, with cool lighting and etc. Telling the story of Aquaman, like Ron said. And if we're gonna have the same queue, maybe we have the same 2-level station like Pulsar. The guests will go through a show scene, then go up to the second floor to wait, then go down to the first floor to wait, and then get on the attraction. And honestly, this is a lot better because it's more enclosed for more AC, it fits more guests in the queue, and now I understand why they removed Daffy Duck bucket blasters, to make way for the queue. Because now without that attraction, they have all the space they need for the 2-floor queue house, and then when you exit, you would exit through the original area of Daffy Duck. Because like I said, same exit so you get on the same side. And as for the entrance, I think it's going to be the same entrance as planned in the concept, which is you see the big sign that says Aquaman, and then you enter under the tracks, then go behind into the 2-story queue house. There's a show scene and everything and etc. There's actually proof of this entrance style, because as seen in the construction, there's paved cement that starts from the path where you usually go through, where Pandemonium is, and then it goes right under the track of Aquaman, like the original concept. And then back there where that building is, that's where the whole queue is. And I think that the little shed is where they're gonna actually store the coaster trains, because Polestar has a very similar shed, just on opposite sides, that stores the trains. Or I could be wrong and that's just the area where they're gonna operate the attraction. But yeah, it's starting to make sense even though we barely see anything. So with all this speculation, it does make it obvious that we are a little bit behind in construction. So when will Aquaman Powerwave open? Well, since they still need to finish up the splash pool, install the trains, and create the queue, personally I think we'll be seeing an opening in August or late September. If we're lucky, it could be sooner, but it all depends on how fast construction will be. I mean, they still got the queue to make, and we still gotta see test runs and etc. My only worry is that this attraction opens a little too late, and then it starts to get cold, so there's no point of the attraction. And it kinda sucks it won't be a summer opening, because this ride is made for the summer. My other question is that if this ride will be seasonal or if it will operate all year. I mean, they could treat it like Roaring Rapids, where they only open it during the summer and then winter they close it, or they can be different. For example, Journey to Atlantis at SeaWorld San Antonio is open majority of the year even if it's cold, because people are still willing to ride it, and I hope that that's the case for Aquaman Powerwave, as having it operate during the winter allows for a lot of guests to check out the new attraction and have an extra operating coaster in the park. Plus, if Six Flags is worried that they'll be wasting a lot of money on operating the water during that cold season, then a simple solution is to turn off the water during the winter, but they can still operate the coaster. Sure, it won't be the same without the water, but I'm sure they can do something special for the winter, like maybe do what Frontier City does during the winter, where they close the log ride and then replace the entire water area with Christmas lights, so they can fill up the splash area with Christmas lights, so it still looks aesthetically cool when you go into that area in the coaster and while watching the coaster. In result, it is exciting to see all the updates for Aquaman Powerwave, and I'm glad to see construction finally coming along. The only thing we gotta do now is wait some more, and before you know it, we can finally ride Aquaman Powerwave 2 years later. Anyways, what do you think? Will Aquaman Powerwave open by August, or will we have to wait another year for this attraction? Comment down below. Anyways, thank you for watching. This is JB Thrills, signing out.